What is going on, everybody? We are back in the greenhouse today. We're going to work on a few things, and we got some really awesome products to use in here that we want to talk about. But first, if you haven't already, make sure you go subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so we can keep making awesome videos like this, and you guys can keep seeing really cool updates as the greenhouse progresses. As you can see, things are growing in. Things are really starting to turn into a jungle here. But yeah, we're going to talk about the products we're going to use here in a minute and show you what we're doing, and we're kind of getting some other things ready. But first, I want to give you guys a little update on some of the plants. This might be a pretty standard thing in the videos from now on, just because plants are starting to grow so fast that there's like always something cool happening. So one, this Patricia is getting huge. This is the latest leaf. It's got another one getting ready to come out. And I don't know if you guys remember me getting this Lechinopterus mirabilis. It's a really cool ant fern, but I got this tiny little cutting, and I don't know if you can see, but right here, it is finally getting ready to put out a new frond. So we're gonna get this thing mounted somewhere cool super soon. So this thing here is the Pentagonia wendlandii. This is one of my favorite plants. It grows into kind of a little tree type thing with really cool leaves. For a while, it was really struggling, but as you can see, it is taken off now. These new leaves look awesome and super healthy. And then back here, we got this Philodendron Betsii. I don't know if you can see it compared to my hand, but that thing's starting to put out pretty big leaves, doing super good. And look right here at this Pharaoh's Mask colocasia. This thing is going crazy. So it is starting to put out these huge leaves. I just dropped my mic, but it is doing super good. And then also we have a new plant up here that somebody donated to me. So this is an Anthurium warockianum. Or other known as a queen anthurium, but we are going to get that mounted today along with some other plants that I'll show you right now. So if you guys remember, I got these Nepenthes, and I was worried they wouldn't do good because of the hard water in the greenhouse, but they are doing great. This is a new leaf, this one is a new leaf. It's grown since it got put in here, and then this one has also grown a new leaf. So I think they are doing fine. I may just have to rinse them with RO water every now and then until I get the RO filter in here. But we are going to get these mounted today, find a good spot for them. I'm super excited to see these get big, huge pictures. All right, the Monstera is growing like crazy, guys, but that is probably no surprise there. One of my favorite anthuriums, the rugulosum, put out a new leaf. This Anthurium regal leaf got massive. And I got these two new Platycerium ridleyi. I almost called them anthuriums, but we're waiting for them to grow out a little bit, but they already look pretty good. So that is it for the plants right now. There's a lot of other stuff to update, but this would be a whole long plant video if I updated every single one. But as you can see, things are really growing in, doing super good, and it's pretty exciting. But as far as the animals go, we have something exciting to tell you. But first, the fish are doing good. The lizards are doing good. One of them is getting more and more brave. He's not going to be out today because it's pretty cloudy and stormy, but he hangs out on this tree usually. I'm sure he's somewhere in there hiding. But he's getting more and more brave, and he's letting me get closer and starting to hang out while we're in here. But they're still really, really shy. So I don't get too much video of them, but it is what it is. And then, like I said, today's cloudy. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is like crazy windy outside. But maybe I'll give you an update on that because everybody always asks me how the greenhouse does in the wind. But as far as the dart frogs go, we got super exciting news. They are starting to call. So check out this awesome clip real quick. It's just on my phone, but it's what you get for now. So that was awesome. If I get some clips today of the dart frogs calling, I'll show you on here, but for now you can see that one on my phone. So far we have two males, Frogbert, the big yellow one, and one of the other ones. I'm excited to see how many males and females we end up having, and hopefully eventually get them breeding. So way excited about that update. Thought you guys would like to hear it. So like I said, I don't know how well you can hear. I'm trying to protect the mic, but it is super windy out here. We had some crazy winds last night. We got a big storm rolling in. Everybody asks me how the greenhouse does. But remember, I have the 2 layers of plastic and they're inflated like a big old bubble. So you can really see it does not budge that much in the wind. So luckily this thing does super good in the wind, but this is miserable. So let's go back inside. So we're gonna get some plants mounted today, and then we also have something else to do because we have a really big update coming. I mentioned in the last video, we might be getting some really small lizards, and somebody in the comments did guess right. There's a pretty good chance we're gonna get some Tachydramus. So if you don't know what those are, look them up, they're awesome. But now there's also one other animal added to the list that we might get. So we're going and we're screening off all the fans and stuff, like this one up here. And then these fans over here already have a pretty fine cage around them. So we're not worried about it with the tree skinks and stuff, but for the small little tachydermis, it could be a problem. And for one other slithery animal we may end up getting. And then the one other spot we got to seal up, as you can see on the pond enclosure, when it closes, there's this little gap here around the door. So definitely don't want little lizards getting in there. And the other animal I'm worried about is a long slithery animal. So go ahead and guess. Oh, it just got bright. Go ahead and guess down in the comments below what you think it might be. But it's super cool. I'm super excited for it. I know you guys probably have a rough idea from my hints here, but let me know what you think it is, and we'll talk about it in the next video. Maybe. So that is it for the updates today. Let's get to the main point, the meat and potatoes of what this video is all about. Those products that I was talking about earlier. So first up, well, these are all from Houston Frogs. I'll say that. They didn't send me this for free or anything. I actually reached out and tried to message them, and they didn't message me back. So if you're listening to this, I'd appreciate a message. But either way, these are some really awesome products. I just found them through my own research and listening to podcasts and stuff. And there's stuff that'll be extremely beneficial in here. So can't do without it. But this first thing is a beneficial microbial inoculant. So without getting into all the science of everything, microbes are an extremely important part of an ecosystem. There's different types of fungus, bacteria, nematodes, all kinds of stuff that really is like a vital overlooked part of an ecosystem, or commonly overlooked. So one thing here I try to do is inoculate as much of that as possible. And it seems like Houston Frogs did a really good job getting a bunch of different beneficial ones for tropical environments that you can use in vivariums. So this is designed to be used in a vivarium. I just bought a bunch of it so I could use it here in the greenhouse, but this is one of them. It's this little tiny vial. There's a train going by, so sorry if that's really loud. And this, for those of you really wondering, is a list of all the species that it contains. So we'll just mix this in with the soil, and this will help us make a nice little healthy ecosystem. Okay, bacterial inoculant, moving on. And the other products we're gonna use are these clay substrates. So one is a clay bath kit that I got. It's little petri dishes. You use this calcium clay substrate. It makes like a little bath for the dart frogs. I'll explain more about that in a minute. And the other one is just this big old bag of like similar, I don't know if it's the same thing or kind of different, but this is like what they sell as clay substrate. So the goal with this is it has a lot of minerals, especially calcium, but a bunch of other stuff in it. And the dart frogs, because you remember frogs are amphibians, they can absorb stuff through their skin. So they go bathe in it and they actually get beneficial minerals and stuff from it. And one thing here in the greenhouse that I can't do that you typically do in captivity, but anyways, you like dust all your fruit flies when you feed. So you do a really good job of supplementing your dart frog's health. That's really important with dart frogs. In here, I only can do that about once a week, and it's really not a guarantee that the dart frogs are always even getting that. So it's really important that I feed an extremely varied diet, and I do as many other things as I can to possibly get them minerals and nutrients and vitamins and stuff that they need. So this is kind of a test run. I'm gonna try out these products and see how they are. And then if it goes good, I'm gonna order a bunch more, and we're gonna make big clay bath areas around the greenhouse. I'd like to have some that are like more solid clay, maybe even up on the walls a little bit, like a clay lick, like there may be in the wild. And then I'd like to have some that are really soupy clay that the frogs can just go frolic in and make an absolute mess. And then I'll probably use little petri dishes of soupy clay that I'll change out weekly or something like that, and I'll put them in little spots around the greenhouse, because the frogs' health is really important to us here, and we want them to be happy. I don't want to watch my frogs play in mud. It just sounds fun. So let's test these out. Oh my God, it's like crazy windy. Let's test these out, see how it goes. So first, let's do the microbial inoculants. These are inoculants, so you're basically seeding the species that you want in here, and then hoping that they do good and colonize things on their own. So I got 5 of these little vials. It says these are good for any size vivarium or terrarium. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them all over, and then you water them in a little bit. So they'll get automatically watered in by the misting system. So we're just gonna sprinkle these all over the place. And the fan's just gonna blow it all right into my face. So super neat. All right, so we're gonna mix up the little petri dish ones, and we got some frogs right here ready to go to test it out. But you just take these little packets, put 1 packet in each petri dish. I'm using each side of the petri dish so they work as 2. And then it says put 30 milliliters of water in each one, mix it up. So let's do it, see how it goes. I feel like this stuff is gonna make a mess. So I got this done. I put 30 milliliters in and it seemed like just water. It was way too much. So I actually mixed 3 of the little packets into this. I don't know if I'm doing this right or if it's meant to just be super watery, but for my purpose, I want it pretty wet like this, but I still want it to be kind of thick and muddy, you know? You can see there's a little bit of clumps still. But then Tiffany had a great idea. I have these little jungle pods all over, and she said I should fill some of these jungle pods with it too. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a bunch of this, fill the little jungle pods with it, scatter those all over the greenhouse, and then we'll make the big clay patch. So let me get all these done. It's kind of a mess, and then we will go from there. So we got these done. It was messy. It's kind of a pain. I think if I keep doing this, I'll probably make like a bunch of the mud in like a big squirt bottle, and then every now and then I can come just rinse these out and replenish them with new mud. But yeah, we got 4 of these nice little clay baths. So we're gonna place them all over the greenhouse. And like I said, these ones are pretty liquidy, you know, but that's so the frogs can go kind of bathe in it. So let's go get these placed all over, and then we'll do the clay substrate, and hopefully that will be less liquidy and we can make kind of a clay patch for them to hang out on. All right, so we showed you the wind earlier, but we just barely looked outside. I didn't even realize it was like this. Check this out. It is a freaking snowstorm. The weather is really weird here in Utah, especially in the spring. All right, I've got my big bag of very powdery clay. I'm gonna try to just squirt some water in here from the hose and mix it up in this, and I honestly have no idea how it's gonna go, so wish me luck. We got our little spot picked out where we want the first calcium area, or the clay area. And we're just gonna see how this goes, you know? See, Tiffany had me psyched out thinking that this wasn't gonna work at all and I need a bucket. And it almost worked. She almost freaked me out, but then I was like, no, I got the ideas around here. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. No, I'm just kidding. She's actually the one with all the good ideas, but this is working pretty good. Just need some more. Try to do it a little bit at a time because I don't want to add too much water and have it be way too wet. So I feel like I'm making a big loaf of bread. I think we got her a good consistency. We're gonna try this out. Okay, so we picked this little spot. It's somewhat contained by the deck and the rock, so this will be a good little test spot. And it should stay pretty moist here. So we're gonna just try to get this clay all out of here and form them a nice little clay spa. That's what we're really doing here. We're just making a spa for the frogs, guys. Okay, so could probably do a little bit wetter, but it's gonna get pretty wet here on its own. So I'm just gonna kind of mash her all around. We're gonna see if the frogs like this little spot or if they just don't care about it at all. Does not look very natural right now, but we'll kind of blend it, add some leaves and stuff, make it look a little bit better. All right, guys, well, that is gonna be it for this video. We're not gonna get to mounting plants in this video, but you will have to stay tuned. Check out the next video to see where we ended up mounting them and to see if the frogs even like their little clay bath or not. Did I just waste all my hard-earned money? Am I an idiot? Who knows? Also, comment down below what you think the next animal we're getting are. I told you we're getting the Tachydermis, most likely, but also some slithery boys. So you know what that means. We putting snakes in the greenhouse. What snakes do you think I'm gonna get? Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes. Cool animals, frog spa day, it's all coming up, baby.